So now we're standing in the living room of our bus leaf, and we went with an L-shaped couch so that way it gives a little separation from the kitchen and we can pull it out, and it's almost a full-size bed. It also, both sides flip up to have storage underneath. One of the main things we loved about it was we were able to put our son directly in the middle of our bus, which that's the best position for a kid to be in his car seat. And I fabricated a bunch of brackets, and it ended up being 72 pounds of steel in total. So we have 8 through bolts through the steel of the actual bus and 8 more lag screws through it and a bunch of other small screws going through each side of the seat belt. And it is a regular car safety belt that locks into place. And so with him being positioned directly in the middle, we feel it's the safest option to where any impact that we'd have, he'd be perfectly fine. From our kitchen to our living room, we have this really awkward 45-degree space that we didn't exactly know what to use for. So we started using it for our son's toys, and it's worked out good. He can reach all the different levels of it, and he can take his markers over to his whiteboard and his Play-Doh over onto the floor. And this is kind of his little domain that he runs around with our dog, Banjo. Over here, we have our fireplace. It was a really big deal for us. We originally had it down low, like most people do, but with our son and our dog, which they're both incredibly clumsy, we decided to change up the plans and put it up higher, so that way it's totally out of the reach of him, so nobody gets burned. So we have a Cubic Mini Grizzly Edition, and we have the little thermal fan up here that works great. It heats our bus up amazingly. Doesn't really reach the back as well as we'd like, but we have the mini split back there with the heat pump as well. So we did a nice cedar mantle, and then we did a mosaic backsplash for our fireplace, and we incorporated our little leaf tiles, which is a really nice touch that we thought. And I custom made a stainless heat shield for the fireplace because it was just the ones that Cubic sells. They're great, but it just didn't fit out for ours. Down below, we have our son's little play area, and we have all his books over here. So some of the main reasons we purchased our bus was it was a 6-speed manual transmission, and it had a 24-valve Cummins diesel engine in it with 136,000 miles. So it was early in its life, and then it was also a high ceiling, so we didn't have to do a roof raise. So 6'5" originally, and then now it's about 6'3".
So we lived up in North Carolina. We had the beautiful house. We both had great jobs up here, but I think that it got to a point where it was just like too much. We just ended up feeling like we were so stuck. We were working our jobs to come home to work on the house, not having like any time to do the things that we loved or the things that brought us together in the first place. And we wanted like a way out of that, a way to get unstuck. And that's when we sold our house, just about everything in it, and bought the bus. And now we're here.
So now we're standing back here in the bathroom area, and we decided to do a split bathroom because we didn't really like the concept of a wet bath. It works for people, but we decided to do our toilet and sink over here and our shower over here. So for our shower head, we have a Nabia Spa shower head. It works out amazing, and it's great water saver for us. We travel and keep our towels inside of our shower until we're ready to use it, and then we have these separate hooks over here that we can just transfer them out, and then they can dry here while the shower is drying, and it works out good for us. So in our shower, we did the roof raise just over a shower head, and I put a big 30-inch skylight in there, so it really brings in natural light while you're showering. And in our shower, we started our shower with our pebble tile, and then that kind of went over to our toilet, and then it went up to the front steps, and we just love the way it looks and feels great in the shower. You kind of feel like you're in a spa. So in the shower, we did a little shower roof raise just because I wanted to be able to stand up in the shower, and I knew building the floor up to do a proper shower pan would eliminate some height. So we raised it about a foot so that way I could stand up in it and take a comfortable shower. Over here, one of our big things was we didn't want a door for our bathroom, which we just never use doors, so we decided to put a little curtain and switch up our layout to have this cool little slanted half wall here. Gives it a little bit of privacy, but still the open feel. And we have DIY compost toilet, and everybody says that the compost toilet is the hardest thing to get used to, and we thought it was the easiest. Just simple thing to use, and it's not as gross as it sounds. Another cool feature of it that we thought was really important is it has a little kids fold down seat that will help him potty train because he's getting to that age. And one thing we definitely had to change in here was our toilet paper used to be down here, but our son would drag it all over the entire bus, so we had to put it up high up here. And we have a small little sink. It works out good for us, and we have our toothbrush and everything up top up here, and one cabinet back here. And then we just have a little curtain here that just slides to give you privacy if you want. We don't really ever use it except for at night. We hook it across right here to keep our son from light shining into his bed. So for our cabinet doors in here, we just made little doors, and I put burlap as the back. It's a really nice little accent. We have these little baby locks on all of our cabinets. These are the only ones that we keep locked all the time because our son loves coming in here and just grabbing everything out. These baby latches are awesome because you can deactivate them. So on all the other cabinets, they're all deactivated and we can open and close them until we go to travel, which we can activate them and it keeps them shut. So now we're sitting in the honeymoon suite, our nice queen size mattress that we have. So we decided we put a skylight over our heads so we have sunlight in here if we decide to take a nap, which Ashley likes to sometimes with Zephyr, and just to see the stars at night because it really humbles you. This is our nightstand, our little baskets above our head, and it fits our phone and our water cups. And then we have our mini split unit back here, and it cools the bed area terrifically, but it doesn't exactly flow to the front that great. We have our mattress. It folds up, and so we can access our storage underneath, and our water tanks and plumbing are also underneath. I actually built it with a different mattress on top, and this mattress is like 40 pounds heavier, so it doesn't hold itself up anymore, but we make it work. So we have 2 murals on each side of these walls that Ashley drew up, and we got them printed out on some vinyl stickers, and they really give a nice boho touch to back here, and all the design is Ashley. Over on this side we have our TV. Our TV comes up out of our footboard, so that way we can either have a beautiful view outside during the day or TV at night, and we don't have to compromise on which one we want. Doing the TV coming out of the footboard was definitely one of the hardest things to do in this bus, just because limited space, and I wanted it to be able to go up higher than the TV height, so that way our feet didn't get in the way. It's the little details like that that made our bus take 2.5 years to finish. That distance was hard to achieve, but we got it figured out and it works out great for us. I think it was back in 2016, before we even met. I had a bus that I did a roof raise on and ended up selling it and got a van, an old 94 Dodge van that I converted, and then right when I was close to finished, we actually met, and then we started our relationship off with 3 weeks traveling actually up here in North Carolina, which is why we ended up moving up here.
Yeah, in the van.
And then we sold the van, bought a box truck that we started a conversion on, didn't finish, but sold that.
Sold it.
And then we bought a home. So our dream of traveling got pushed back even more. Then before we sold the home, we bought the bus because we knew that we had to continue on this journey because we put a 2-year pause on it. So once we bought the bus, we sold our home right before COVID hit. Literally, we sold our home in February of 2020.
Yeah.
So then we moved back down to Florida and converted the bus out living at Ashley's parents' house. And then finally got done with it, and now we're gonna turn it into an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And build a home and hopefully get either a van to convert or
I think something
or a small
smaller.
RV to take vacations in compared to
something a little
living
easier.
in.
Yeah. And I think too, like when we had first met, we always you talk about your dreams and what do you want out of life. And I remember Colin telling me like his dream was to build a house one day, like him build it. So I think like you checked a box off, like you built us a home, you know. Welcome to our kitchen. A big part of our kitchen was having this 5-burner stovetop. Colin does most of the cooking in here, and we all kind of like something different. So it was super important for us to have the 5 burners. That way we can cook like a meal every night that we all love. And then on the other side of our stove was our sink, and we chose to do a bigger sink because it also doubles as our son's like bath area. So we have all of his bath stuff in the cabinet here. We'll just pull it out when it's time. But we fill it up enough that he can sit in here, stretches out his legs, soap him up, and he loves it. He plays in here with his toys. We pull up some toys in here, and he loves his area. Up here we did have like herbs. We had cilantro and rosemary, and I think it was thyme that we had as well, that we would use when we're cooking, but we used them all up. So we had to replace them with new plants. So that was kind of fun because you just come over, cut them, and then come over here and put them in your food. And it tasted super fresh and it was yummy. This is like my little coffee area. So Colin doesn't drink coffee, but I like my coffee. And this is like my coffee bar, so to speak. So we chose the Cummins coffee pot that I still have no idea how to use. And this is like our drying rack for our dishes. So we'll just lay a towel down, open up the drying rack when we do dishes, let them all dry up there. Apartment sized fridge. And we have the locks right here on the top and the bottom. So we have a top freezer. It's pretty empty right now. It's actually more space than we even need. But these are keeping it shut while we're driving was a huge deal. So you just push them in. I think they're like child locks that you would buy for a baby. So they also work for our son too. So the child locks that Colin mentioned in the bathroom, we also have on all of our cabinets in the kitchen. And we just use this magnet right here. You stick it on and it opens it up for you. It also has that little lock that you can just pop them in, lock them. We usually don't lock them when we're just in here living, but as soon as we get ready to hit the road, we'll just push that little button and they're good to go. We chose just for the 5-burner stovetop, no oven, but we still like to have things that require an oven, so we chose to do just a little toaster oven, and it does everything. It bakes, it's an air fryer, it's the toaster oven, so whatever we can't cook on there, we're able to do. Like everyone always talks about like cookies and chicken tenders, whatever it is, so we do that in there. And it's a big hit with our son. He loves it. So we do have 2 faucets up here. This one is just our normal sink water. This one is for our drinking water. It's a whole separate filtration system. We chose to do the RO system. So we have a tankless RO system under our cabinet here. And basically it's a 3-stage RO system. So it will go in, filter all the water on top of the water that was filtered originally. On the right side it's the tankless system, and then on right behind our garbage can is the mineralization aspect of it. So it will filter all the water for like the RO system, and then the final stage it re-adds all those like essential minerals to our water. Turn it on, and it takes a second, and then we have our water. Drinking water, sink water.
That was the easiest part.
Definitely.
Like we blossomed as a couple.
Yeah.
And living in this small space, and we started talking to each other more. And granted, when we were converting the bus, I put all my time and energy into it, and I didn't really get to spend quality time with her, Zephyr. So it's definitely helped our relationship a lot. And you'd think, being in such a small spot, that you would fight with each other more, or things
get aggravated. Yeah.
But it's been a lot better rhythm for us.
I think we needed it. Like the whole conversion process, it was just so much, and it was like we had just had him, and my whole focus was on our son. His whole focus was on building this house, this beautiful home for us, and it was almost like that disconnect there. Like we needed this done, but we also needed to put time into him. And I think just us finally moving in and being in here, it just is like, I don't know, it just has made it so much easier, I think, for us.
Yeah, I think so as well.
We caught ourselves, I don't know, like a week in saying we haven't laughed this much together in such a long time. Like we just needed that. So I think this space has helped us a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
Even if it's not like our forever home, I think that this phase and this stage and this process we needed, like as a couple, as a family, I think it was all good. So this is probably one of my favorite parts of our bus. It is our son's bunk area. It was super important for us to have his own space, but also have it safe and functional. So we have this door here, make it like not so much look like a prison cell almost, like a typical crib with the bars and the slats. So we wanted to make it a little bit more fun for him. So it is up when he's in here and sleeping. We push it up. It has 2 locks on the top so that there's no way that he could like push it out or it fall down while he's in there. And then when it's time for us to get him or for him to come out, we just undo the 2 latches and it slides down. And that also helps with space. It doesn't have to have like a big door swinging out and take up the hallway. So it slides down, and then this is his whole bunk area. He has his little bookshelf over here that he keeps like his favorite books in on top of the books in the living room. And then he has a corkboard on the top that we could hang like his artwork that he does or his pictures that he likes. And then right here is just 2 little hooks for his hats. This is our dresser. So we have all these shelves. This is like something that Colin kind of like took advantage of. We had just had our son, and he was just in here trying to get things done. If it was up to me in the beginning, I probably would have opted for more like open. I like open, so I would have opted for more open shelving. And then I walked into the bus one day and we had all these drawers. But looking back now, it was a great call because we have honestly, like this whole drawer is empty. We have way more storage than we need. So we have my clothes are in here. Zephyr's clothes are on the bottom, so he has access to it, and he can like pick out what he wants to wear. Colin's clothes, and then this big one here is our hamper. A lot of people don't usually talk about that, like where do you put your dirty clothes, you know? So we have like 2 big hampers right here that we just take out these bags when it's time to go do our laundry. Just take out the bag and bring it in with us. So that's super functional. This side is our pantry. So we have just, if you look, like the drawers are really, really deep. So we hold way more things than we even need. So this is just all of our food, all of like our dry goods. And then this is our pets food. So this is Banjo's food, Kitty's food. Oh, and another thing too, we have this curtain here, so like at nighttime we want to have our own room. Also privacy from the front because we don't have curtains on our front windshield. So we will unhook this. It's just the same curtain as our shower and our bathroom. And then it just comes over here. And then we just unhook it in the day. So we will close that at nighttime just to give us some more privacy.
All right, so now outside of our bus, one of the main features is this little pattern design going down the center of our bus. It was one of my wife's big projects that she did, and it was a time-consuming project, but it came out nice, and I wasn't exactly sure if it would stay on going down the highway, but it did, and we're very happy that it did. Another one is the cedar shake siding on top of our shower roof raise. That was another project I didn't think would last going down the highway, but everything worked out good. And then we have our little outdoor dining area that used to be our dining room table, but just with having our son, it was a little too much work to put it on every night. So we changed it to out here, and it's worked out good. I set my little grill up here, and it's called muted sage. We actually get a lot of questions about it, but it's like a green grayish color. And then we did Ames elastomeric paint on top. It's just like Henry's Tropicool, but it's like a commercial grade product, and helps it keep it a little colder inside. We have a RV water heater that works out great for us. We were gonna do a tankless one inside, but we ended up with the tankless exterior one, which just worked out better for us in our time frame. So over on this side of the bus, we continued with the design going down the middle of the bus, and our generators here, because right now we're not capable of, we don't have any solar or any batteries, so if we go off grid, we have to run off of a generator. Then we got one 5-foot box that I keep all my tools in. And then we have another box back there that has our water filter. This is where our electric pulls in if we're hooked up to the grid or to the generator. And then we have 2 separate gray water tanks. So one's for our sink that has an exit right here, and then the other one is in the back of the bus. So we have 135 gallons of fresh water, and we have about 110 of gray water. We're amazingly bad at conserving water, so we go through our 130 gallons in about 4 to 5 days, which is impressive as how we can use it that fast. So we got a Sinville mini split up here, and we decided to mount it up top because I just wanted to keep ground clearance as much as possible. So I just built some brackets and made it all secure, and inside I have some bars across from rib to rib holding it all together, so it's held up great riding down the road.
Coming to check out our home. You can find us on Instagram at StrayLeaf. The links are in the description.
Say bye.
Bye. Thank you.